It's DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. We have another gig announcement today, and I'm quite looking forward to this gig announcement. So I'm happy to share with you all. We're just going to get straight into it. That you can catch me. I'm going back over to Leicester on the 8th of June, and I am playing as part of the Canvas reunion. So I think Canvas was an event that used to take place in Leicester sort of years ago, and it was kind of like a multi-genred. So I think they had like house, drum and bass, and then they had like all different styles going off. Um, I don't know too much about the original Canvas events because they were a bit before my sort of time, sort of as an artist, and and going raving and sort of like attending events. But you can catch me playing in the upstairs room, the hardcore room, and I'm quite looking forward to it. So this is like a reunion. So this is kind of like, in a way, I suppose it's like bringing the event back for like a like a one-off only, and they've got some artists and some DJs involved, and then they've opened up a second room, and they're doing like a hardcore room, and it's a big 12-hour event. So it's going to be really enjoyable. So it's starting at something like 4 in the afternoon, and it's going on till like 4 in the morning. So it's a big 12-hour thing. It's an amazing 12-hour event, which I'm quite looking forward to. Looking forward to seeing how it's going to go off. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the downstairs room actually, and having a bit of fun in the upstairs room as well, doing my set and stuff like that. So I'm quite looking forward to it. Um, so I'm not sure what time I'm playing yet. Like the time that I'm playing is a little bit sort of it's not been announced yet. It'll probably get announced sort of like the week before. I'm hoping it's. I did say in the group chat. I said, "Oh, I'm traveling, so hopefully not too early. I'm hoping not too late either. I'm hoping if I can get a nice balance where I'm sort of somewhere in between. So if I was going on, say, like 10 o'clock at night or something, or if I was going on at, like, say, 7 at night or something like that, like, I'd be quite happy, or even like 1 a.m. or something. But not like 3 a.m., and it's certainly not like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., just as, traveling. And I'm not sure even yet what time I'm going to, like, be setting off and arriving, and I'll have to check into a hotel and everything. Um, Obviously I'll dedicate the day to traveling. I'll be coming on the train and stopping in a hotel. So I'll be obviously dedicating my travel time. Getting a train. When I can. Once I'm ready, I suppose. I like to. For some reason, I like to get trains around midday. If ever I'm planning a trip, I always get a train like as close to midday that I can. So like if it's somewhere like 12:30 or 22 minutes past 12 or 18 minutes past 12, like I always tend to go for them. And then if I can land in my destinations usually round sort of like 3, 4 o'clock, that's normally like a good thing for me. And then I can get over to the get over to the event, and it's see how it goes. That's the kind of thing. See how it goes. So obviously I'm playing a hardcore set, and hardcore sets I don't play them very often nowadays. I've kind of I went very bounce orientated, and now I do quite a few clubland sets, and do a few hard dance sets. But hardcore is something that I come out the woodworks and I do now and again. I've still got a love for hardcore, and there's actually a hardcore label at the moment that is really doing it for me. And I will be playing some tracks from that label. Trust me, we will be going in with some heavy hardcore as well. So there's a label called 170. It's an Australian label, and it's honestly, the label is so underrated, and the production on it, they fire out some absolute just all I can say is they just bring out bangers, and the production just sounds so clear, and the tracks sound so nice, and I just can't wait to to play some of these tracks. And I do play some when I'm doing hardcore sets, but I haven't gone and like updated and got some new ones in a while. But there's some absolute filth that I want to drop, and some absolute filth that I want to play. So we'll see exactly what happens. But it's gonna be good. So I'm gonna do a mixture of some like old hardcore, and then I'm gonna kind of go into some of this newer stuff as well, and just kind of see sort of roughly where we go, and sort of take it a bit harder as we go along. And I don't know which MC I'll have for my set. There's a couple of MCs. I even got put on the flyer to MC to begin with, and I told him no. I said, look, take me off. As I'm sure some of you may be aware, a lot of you probably won't be, and you'll be disappointed when you hear it. But I've actually taken the decision to step back as an MC. So I'm only honouring the bookings that I was already booked for as an MC before I made the announcement. So any future bookings to MC, I'm turning them down. I'd rather take like DJ bookings. The chances of me grabbing the mic there later on, probably it will end up doing it, because it just ends up happening. Like it's a forced habit, I think. But I'm trying to get out of the habit of doing that, because I want to focus on the DJing, and I don't want people like, because you jump on the mic at them events, and then there's someone there who happens to put an event on, and they really like you as an MC, and then, oh, we want to book you for our event, and that's not what I want to happen. So I would rather stay clear of the mic, and just go as a DJ and then just enjoy the event, and depending obviously what time I'm playing, just having a drink. But yeah, so Canvas Reunion, 8th of June, starts at 4 in the afternoon. It goes on till 4 in the morning, and the first 50 tickets are free on Skiddle, and then after that you pay for your tickets, but they're still like really dirt cheap. So get them tickets while you can. If you want something to do and you are sort of in the Leicester area. I know up our end there is a massive festival called the Gathering Fest that takes place in Cleethorpes on the Maderian, is it Maderian Showground? Massive lineup, they've got like some of the biggest names to name. They've got people like Bass Hunter. They've got like a massive Clubland arena, and basically like loads of our end all come out in force for this massive festival. I like to go to it if I can. But obviously, if I get booked somewhere, I get booked somewhere. Obviously nothing against the festival. I love the festival. It does really good vibes. But I'm trying to, push myself as an artist to, to get further, and to move along. And obviously the chance to, to do a booking comes along. You've just, I was free that day. Just got to accept it. I want to push myself as a DJ rather than just go partying somewhere. That's how it's got nowadays, because I am like forever trying to better myself. So that's obviously just the way it goes. But I obviously, hope the festival goes well. And I think they're celebrating 5 years or something of putting the festival on. So it's really good that they've managed to go that long and stuff like that. So while we're on the sort of conversations of kind of like they've been going sort of like 5 years and stuff, and I've been going obviously a few years now myself DJing. I've been going obviously a bit longer with the MCing, but normally what I like to do is kind of do almost like these little now and again I like to do these little updates of kind of like how I think the year's gone for me. What's been kind of like my favourite gig of the year. I like to do them sort of towards the end of the year, but I like to do them sort of like we're not far off like halfway through the year, so we're kind of about at that point where we're about halfway through nearly. We are literally like just under a month away from really being about halfway through the year. So what has kind of really done it for me this year, and also going on to like bounce and stuff like who's been doing it for me like production wise, like who's been absolutely killing it production wise for me. If I've been buying the new bounce, what has been really killing it for me, and that kind of thing. So gig wise, for me so far this year, I've done some amazing gigs. I've done some really good gigs. I've been on some flyers with some pretty big names. I've done some really cool, amazing things. For me, I think personally, believe it or not, a little while ago I did a gig at Fusion Nightclub. The Layman hosted me. It was the same day that we did the Wild Child Kids Rave, and that for me, it was one of my favourite gigs that I've ever done. The set was just amazing and everything just went right. The club wasn't absolutely rammed, but the vibe was right. The people that were there were just absolutely enjoying it, and we just rammed in the set, and people just couldn't believe what had just happened, and I couldn't believe what had just happened. And it was just something that even now I'm thinking, how do I even replicate? Well, not replicate, but how do I top a set like that? That set was just absolutely fire all the way through. So that for me, that has got to be the ultimate gig so far this year. And then I think the second gig, I think it's pretty obvious that Rave Kids is obviously going to take the second place. It nearly would take the first place, but the first place, like I say, the set for me was just absolutely on point. The mixing was tight, everything was just absolutely just going right about the set. I just felt really in that right mood. Whereas the Rave Kids, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed my set at the Rave Kids, but it just doesn't quite beat the one I did at Fusion. But the vibe at the Rave Kids, never seen a vibe like it. Literally they opened the door and hundreds of kids just filtered in to this Rave Kids, and the Rave Kids, they've got something quite special going on with their brand, which is absolutely amazing. They just nail it. I saw videos. They were in Newcastle yesterday, and it was just they're just absolutely the place is rammed. They're just absolutely rammed. And all these kids are just enjoying the vibe, and they've got something going on with Rave Kids that is just so special. It's just absolutely amazing. In that sense, I just absolutely love it. So, that has got to be hats off for me. The second most favourite gig of the year, because that was just really good. And then I think in third place it would be the one in Scotland. The one in Scotland was amazing. Again, the one in Scotland, I just threw out like such a really good set, and I just felt like I'd absolutely nailed it, and I'd just kind of gone on the decks, and at this point the club had just absolutely exploded. It had filled up, and there was people absolutely everywhere, and I just rammed in this absolutely amazing sort of like bounce set, and there was loads of like feel good sing-alongs in there, and everybody was just up for it. There was quite a youngish crowd of like, sort of like young sort of people that, they were only just sort of becoming old enough to go out, sort of, into people in their early 20s. But they were just absolutely loving the vibe. And for me, that was why it was just such really good, because it felt like I had the crowd in my hands. They were singing every track. The dance floor was just absolutely getting busier and busier as the set went on, and it was just a really enjoyable vibe. The Crazy Chaos one was really good. So they're like the top three. So Fusion, Math's Birthday, Rave Kids, and then Crazy Chaos with their launch event. They take the spots for my favourite gigs of the year. But that doesn't mean to say that all the other gigs were shit and I didn't like them. I've loved every single gig, from going over to Bounce to Infinity and Stoke-on-Trent to playing the Chain Reactions. They were all amazing gigs. They were all absolutely fantastic. And I really enjoyed my set at the Chain Reaction a couple of weeks ago. The set there was just absolutely fantastic. So I'm really buzzed about that, how that one went. Taking it a little bit more harder. That was obviously a really good vibe in itself. So that was really good, and just really enjoyed myself. So, um, bounce music. So I obviously don't just play bounce, but I am, I'd say, like, when I say big in the bounce scene, I don't mean as in like I'm a big name in the bounce scene. I mean like I'm big into the bounce scene, as in I like bounce a lot. It's one of my favourite genres of music at the moment. So I am very active on there. You know, I do go on to places like Bounce Heaven and Excite and Acceleration Digital, and I do buy the new releases when I can. I don't go on them all the time, but I do go on them and buy them. I stay relatively recent, you know, and up to date with them. The thing about me is I will only buy stuff like, you know, if I actually like it, if I think this is something I'd actually enjoy playing. Sometimes if I do really like the vibe of something and it's not something I'd normally go for, like if for example like the type of remix that's come out is not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's banging and I do know it would go off in a set, then I will be tempted to buy it. But theoretically, like if I like it, if someone's like just remixed a classic and I absolutely love it, then I will just absolutely, you know, fall in love with the tracks. But what tracks are doing it for me this year? What producers are doing it for me this year? So I think last year we was kind of on. It was really close between the Bounce Assassins and Axel Gear. And for me, this year, the Bounce Assassins, I feel like they haven't been pushing as many tracks out, and they pushed some alright tracks out, but I don't think they was as good as last year. So last year we had their remix of Master Blaster Everywhere, and then we also had their remix of Ultra Beat and Rebecca Rudd with I Wanna Touch You. You know, absolutely belting tracks. We had Feel the Power. That was another amazing track that came out this year. I also think they also did a You're Shining as well last year, if I remember right. So they did some absolutely belting tracks last year, and this year they've done a couple of tracks that I like. They've just put a sample up of one called Tattoo, which I'm really falling in love with at the moment. And they also released one just recently, which is a remix of a track called Guaranteed Love, originally done by Cybele. And I wanted to remix that a long, long time ago, and I could never find a clean vocal for it. So somehow they've found a vocal, they've got a clean vocal, and they've done something with it. And I really like what they've done with it. I've actually purchased the track, and it is really good what they're doing with it. They've done some absolutely amazing stuff with it. So you know, I really liked it, and like I say, this Tattoo one that's come out really good. They did a remix of Because of You, and I wasn't, you know, nothing against the Bounce Assassin. I rate a lot of their stuff. That one for me, it was a different person that had sung it. The vibe of it was a little bit different, and I just wasn't personally, I just wasn't as keen. I just kind of think personally it's not the best that they've done, you know. But you know, it wasn't that I hated it. I just didn't like it as much as some of their other stuff. And if I am gonna play it Because of You in a bounce set, I will go for the Outforce remix because they absolutely nailed it. So another producer for me this year is actually Rick Shaw. Rick Shaw did some really good tracks last year. He's done some really good tracks for a couple of years. One thing I like about Rick Shaw is he's never afraid to go there. So something will blow up on TikTok, or something will blow up in the charts, or something will come out, and he'll jump on there and he'll get a really good like bounce remix done of the track like quite quickly. And not everybody is always keen on that. Like, people just think, he's always first to donk everything up, and he just has to donk everything. And I think sometimes donking everything up, yeah, I know a lot of people don't always like it, and people are wanting the more original music, and I do understand. And I do think, yeah, it would be nice to have some more original music. But for things like Rave Kids, when, 9 times out of 10 kids, they're going to know what's in the charts, and then they can come to Rave Kids and you can hit them with the song that they've been listening to on the radio, but you can play the Rave Kids version, because to them it's like, I heard a Rave Kids version of that song I like on the radio. So I think, in that case, it can be quite a good thing. And sometimes, you can donk something up and it'll sound really good. And the thing I like about Rick is he always gets like a really nice and clear outcome. So you never hear, like when the vocal's being ripped, for example. Sometimes, you can try and clean up a vocal as best you can, but sometimes you will just, you'll hear a little bit of badness, because you can only clean a vocal up so much. But Rick Shaw just seems to get like a really, really clear result, and he remixes, and the whole track's like just the way they're mastered, the way they sound, the donk sounds in them are just like really good. And he's done some really good tracks. He's done loads of good tracks actually. One of them that he did quite recently was a track called "Loving You More." And a lot of people won't really remember that track if they weren't really into their sort of like funky house music, Ministry of Sound, Freemasons, Uniting Nations kind of styled tracks. And for me, that was a big part of my childhood growing up. Them tracks were, they were a big part of when I was growing up, the Ministry of Sound annuals. And the Loving You More by Steve Mack and the Freemasons was an absolutely amazing track. It also featured on a Grand Theft Auto game as well. But it was never. I kind of feel like it wasn't as well known as, say, like if you went and remixed Tomcraft Loneliness. Someone's probably heard of that one. Whereas the Loving You More, like you'd have to be. I kind of feel like you'd have to be more sort of, into that style of music to really remember that track. And for me, I knew it. I remembered it. And I really like it. So for me, when Rick Shaw did a remix of that, it was up there for me. It was something I knew I had to get. It was obviously that was obviously a big thing. So Rick Shaw is smashing it. And then of course Axel Gear. I mean, what can I tell you about Axel Gear other than the fact that he just absolutely smashes everything he touches. He makes absolutely belting tunes, and I try to get them when I can. He's done remixes of Raindrops. Feels like the raindrops on my skin. He's just recently put a sample up. He's doing a remix of Felix, Don't You Want My Love, and it sounds really good what he's done with that. He's also done a remix of Mix Factory's Take Me Away. That also came out earlier this year. He's also got a remix coming out of Eclipse 24/7. So that is another thing that he's gonna do. That is coming up. I'm looking forward to hearing that. He's gonna absolutely demolish that, and he just always creates power. And he almost like he brings a little bit of like a hardcore element to his bounce tracks with sort of like big, heavy, uplifting leads, but just has a really nice bouncy drop to it. The donks always sound a little bit unique to the normal bounce sound, that we all hear. So I think for me at the moment, I think Axel Gear is definitely taking the lead as far as production goes. Tracks that are coming out this year. And then I think for me, Rick Shaw is definitely coming in at the number 2. Now the thing about Rick Shaw is not every track he does is my cup of tea, and what I mean by that is like not his production, but just like sometimes the style of remixes that he goes for is not always my cup of tea. Like sometimes like when he does do things out of the charts, they're not always my cup of tea, but then when he like brings back like a classic like Loving You More, that's when it is my cup of tea. And when he did stuff like Infinity, that was a big one for me. When he did Infinity, so yeah, that was a really big one for me. And then outside of Rick Shaw, Axel Gear, people like Robbie J, Yes I, putting out some amazing tracks. Catchy, they do amazing tracks. People like Scott F and Shanks, they bring out some pretty good stuff. But sometimes they don't always remix stuff that are my cup of tea. Scott F sometimes does tracks and they're not always my cup of tea. Key Hughes, that is another person that does bring out some good tracks, but again, sometimes he will do some stuff that just isn't really my cup of tea. And that's nothing against their production, it's just the style of track that they've chose to remix. Like, they go and do something that's a bit more newer and modern. I grew up with the era of like classic dance and club tracks. So when people take like a classic house track, and they go and remix it, it obviously, sounds really good for me. There was a track that came out on Excite just recently, and I can't for the life of me now remember who it was by and what it was called. I think it either came out on last Friday or Wednesday, but it sampled a classic piano, and it was like something that it was just amazing, but it was a little bit of a mashup, and I'm gonna, do you know what? I'm gonna go to it now and listen to it. My favourite colour's red, and I'm from Hull, just in case. Well, I didn't answer it, did I? Right, let's go to Excite. Because I want to be reminded of what it was. I want to buy it as well. I want to get the track. So I'm really interested in buying the track because that's how good it was. But I need to have a little bit of a. It wasn't Power of Love. It wasn't Bound for Reload. Was it on Excite? I thought it was, but I could be wrong. Let's have a look. Wasn't Bounce Piano, was it? No, it wasn't that one. Um, it might have come out on Acceleration. That's it definitely it wasn't Bounce Heaven. I'm sure it wasn't Bounce Heaven. So let's let's have a browse. I might have even put it in my I think I might have put it in my cart actually. Oh, my shopping basket's empty. I thought I added stuff to it. Let's see if it's on here. Um, I didn't dream it. I didn't dream it. Was it bound? I didn't think I dreamed it. It wasn't. It was. Ah. I'm sure the original, where the piano comes from, I'm sure it's called Body Hot. Free His Family. Yeah, that was one I wanted. But no, it's. Oh. Do you know what? It's completely like slipped my mind. Like I thought it was on acceleration. I thought it was on Excite. I've got all three stores open. Doesn't want to play for some reason. Let's have a listen. Jesus. That shut me up. I don't know what had happened there. Jesus Christ. That really shut me up. It's not that one anyway. They are angels. Rockabye. I'm really struggling to find this track. Like, really. Let's keep looking. Let's see if the light is going to get in the way. Oh, it does a little bit, doesn't it? Can I, like, move it here instead? Oh, that's not too bad. If I sit forward a bit to an everybody put a spell on me, set your body free. No, so it wasn't that one. It might be. Do you know what? It's going to do my head in. It's almost like it's vanished, but. Body moving. WDF, nobody's business. Body hot. But no. Want moving on the dash. You got it bad. It goes like I'm just gonna keep looking for a sec. Was it this one? No, it won't dance around it. I will find it, that's the mad thing, like I've gotta find it. Do you know what? It's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me now. Let's have a I think I've got it. I think I'm gonna find it. I think it was a really I think it might have been Heads Up, but it was quite an old one. Summer Jam, Pokey Jam. Angel in My Heart, Hit 'Em, House Party, Take Me Away, I'll Follow You. I Need Symphony, Better Now. Oh, is that? Oh, it don't play. Dance Monkey. Go Here With Me. I know that one. The thing is, I'm gonna find it. I have to do, right? Like, uh, surely. I don't remember it being this. My basket says 0. That's the mad thing. Ah, it's gonna do my head in. It's going on my dashboard. So they're my invoices, orders. So I know about them. Yeah. Oh yeah, I wanna. There are currently, but there was. They have a chart. Wow. I didn't even realise. I absolutely like. Oh, I can't believe it. It's gone out of my head. I remember listening to it and thinking, break into that piano. But I will find it because I won't give up. Something will come back to me. All I know is I first heard it on Friday. I thought it was part of the new releases, but I didn't just go back. I went back in time on Acceleration. So I went back to some of the early releases. So it might just be a fact that it's on there somewhere. I can't remember what it was called. So um, um, ah, bear with me. I think I might have just found it. Ready or not? Ready for a donk. I might have found it. Oh God, get him. Oh. But I haven't found it. Oh, that is not good. And that just takes me back to getting ready. Nothing there. Right, let's have a look. My Chrome just crashed. It was getting it was getting ready. They took the piano from getting ready. Or was it getting hot? Getting hot? Getting hot. My Chrome keeps crashing. Restore. Yes. But it'll want me to log in again. Actually, it doesn't. Getting hot. But it's not. Ah, this is not good. Getting hot. Home. Nothing there. Let's have a listen. Ah, god damn you. Right. Yes. Okay. Might be. I think I've got it. Well, I found the original. Well, I'm just. But that's a different version. It's not that one either. It's not. Oh. Yes, I found the original. So the original is called Getting Ready, which is what I thought the bounce version was called, but it was mashed up with something else. That is a tune, that actually. But I just can't find it. Oh. No, because that's I'm getting ready to explode. Damn you! But it is. Gotta find it. I've gotta find it. I actually have. Oh. M65 remix. Oh. Don't even. Oh man. Let's see if we can. Anyway, I'm gonna cut from this. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Like, comment, share.